Well, welcome back to the Heart of the Bear Factory. This is Positive Impact, the show that talks about making teddy bears with a purpose. This is the season 2 finale, and joining me as always, Jimmy and Jerry. Welcome back, fellas.
Good morning.
Thank you.
So we are talking all things UK on this episode. So which might sound surprising to listeners that we're talking about expansion. I mentioned that a little bit in the last episode. So Jimmy, we'll start with you. What is going on in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, definitely not something that was on our bingo card for this year, like given the circumstances of everything going on. But our long time, historically for the last 24 years, we've had a distribution partner. The company was called Be My Bear, who we've had a fantastic relationship with and has managed, all of our distribution over in the UK. And I might even let Jerry jump in there because that's your relationship that you've had for so long.
Yeah, it started about 24 years ago. They came to us and were looking to expand. They were in the business. They bought their own product out of China, had all of the standard, normal issues of quality, product, delivery, all of those things. They got in touch with us and we moved them in as our only distributor in the UK. And what happened was the owner, she decided to sell her company, which we're fine with, and she did. But what happened was she sold her company to one of our competitors, a competitor that we've had some issues with in the past, and we made a very strong decision that we do not commingle our brand with other competitors' brands, which means that if we have an opportunity to keep our product as isolated because of the eco line, the way we do business, that was our choice a couple years ago to do that. And that's why we've let some of our customers go, even some of our distributors around the world go, if they wanted to carry multiple different competitor lines at the same time. So she sold the company to another company in the UK, and we had some transition issues at that time with them, and we worked through those as best we could. And we also stated that here's the stance that the Bear Factory has, with the distributorship. Yes, these are distributorships that are granted a yearly distributorship. Sometimes we'll grant a 5-year distributorship around the world in different countries. And with that, there's certain conditions that go along with our distributors. And the conditions that we have on the board are that you sell the Bear Factory product only. Now, if they are a company that did a private label animal that is, conducive only to their company, we're okay with that. But we're not going to go into business and commingle the brand with a whole line of our competitors. Yeah. That's just something that we choose not to do. So what ended up happening was we finally, just recently, just in the last couple days, made a decision that we were going to stop the distribution from the new company and really watch our IP on our products. And now we're going to open up our own distribution in the UK.
Yeah. And so when you started the Bear Factory, what led you to starting that particular relationship?
Well, they found us.
Okay.
When they did find us, we were the biggest in the United States, other than the main Build-A-Bear. It was us, two competing for everything. Then since then there's been other smaller competitors that have come into play, and we started to look at distribution rights in other countries, call it Mexico or Canada or Brazil or Australia, New Zealand. All of those different countries, we look for, good, strong distributorships. France, Germany, Italy,
Egypt, Israel.
yeah,
Yeah.
all different kinds. And so Be My Bear was what we'll call our flagship because they did a really good job. You know, they weren't the biggest, but they were the best with the best quality product. And the people over in the UK really know the brand, the Bear Factory. Now they also know the brand Be My Bear, but they were both synonymous together. And so now we've decided that, you know, we'll move away from Be My Bear and do strictly the Bear Factory product.
What changes for the customers in the UK?
I think, you know, with the formation of like this UK division, it's going to be located in North Wales. And, you know, there's definitely investment that's going into the community and jobs that are being created, which is great. And there's, you know, it's not the US. Like, we had a trip over there and to just kind of vet and look at things. And you'd think like, oh, they're English speaking, and you know, yeah, there's a revolution a couple hundred years ago, but they should be pretty similar to us. Driving on the left-hand side of the road is like the absolute worst thing that I've ever had to do. From
He
like,
scares me so bad.
but it's like there's things that we don't know, and just like cultural differences that like having boots on the ground is really important. Well, how does that change for customers? Like, where there's things that we have always had issues with, you know, internal issues or things that we disagreed with how Be My Bear did stuff, as far as like the amount of SKUs that they carried, inventory levels, frequency of replenishment stock. And so there's just things that we, you know, just didn't always agree with, but it's not our business, so we can't really say much, you know. But now what we're doing is we're increasing the product line, running deeper inventory, pretty much going everything factory direct over there, which is going to be more competitive with pricing.
Yeah.
It's all the things that we know is going to create a successful distribution location, but we have the control of it. And given the circumstances of, you know, the tariffs this year, if we've learned anything, it's having control over distribution channels. Like, we just know that no one's going to do it like how we do it. No one's going to work as hard. No one's going to have the industry experience that we do and put the attention to detail on the quality control and the forecasting and everything like that. So being able to just make sure that that division fully specializes in stuff a plush experiences, that's what we can ensure is going to happen. So, you know, more selection for customers, accountability for inventory. Be My Bear had a great job with customer service, had a great job with fulfillment. I think we'll be on par to be able to match, you know, the same turnaround times to process orders and get product where it needs to be. The good thing is that we have way more difficult shipping standards over here, where we ship to California, we ship to Mexico, we ship to Canada, Florida, Texas. Like, those are large distances to go, where like over in the UK, it's basically like we're shipping throughout the Midwest.
Yeah.
So like packaging of product is a lot simpler, getting rates is a lot simpler over there. So there's pros and cons, and there's definitely cross-pollination that's going to be taking place between how things were done over there, how we do things over here. And it's a great learning experience. It's like a master course that I didn't want to sign up for, and that is costing us significant investment as well. And as we all know, Jerry knows that we like to spend money, but I will say that, like,
That's Jerry's thing. He loves spending money.
yeah, Jerry just loves to spend money. But it's what I love is next year's our 25th year anniversary, and we've been talking about how I feel like this is like a shot back to the past in 2001 of, you know, we've had stories of how Jerry started the Bear Factory and, you know, had backpacks full of cash for stuffing machines and like all these just like
The good old days.
the good old days, these like wild stories. And him and I both traveled over to the UK a couple weeks ago, and you know, we were averaging 3 hours a night of sleep, and the time difference totally messed us up, and we were driving, you know, 5 hours at a time because we were like visiting with potential customers and
Cameras every 10 feet when
oh
you're
my
driving.
gosh. Yeah,
I
there's just
mean,
cameras everywhere. So it's just like different things for us. And when we were in North Wales, like everything, all the signs are in like Welsh, and we're just kind of like, what does that say? What is, like, you know, it's just.
Can't even pronounce the word.
But I feel like it's very serendipitous going into our 25th year anniversary where we're starting a whole new company, and there's just like things that need to be learned, and you know, I'm very grateful for that experience because yeah, it's exhausting, and yeah, it can be stressful, and there's just a lot of unknowns, but at the same time, like, that's, you know, what keeps us young. Like, it's the starting of a new business and the sweat equity that goes into it, and it's like that bloodline that we always talk about, being like an entrepreneurial family that, you know, runs our operation. Like, it's everything that we talk about, but we get to do it again, and you kind of realize at times it's a lot more fun to talk about it than to actually do it. But as we're like nearing the finish line, where right now we're planning to be able to start doing fulfillment out of our facility come the week of the 26th of October, give or take, you know, possibly a week further, but that's kind of the way timelines are looking like, because we have containers that have left our factories overseas. We have a container that's leaving in the next couple days from here. And so it's just kind of like this giant production and crescendo that's like coming to a head.
That's going to be a great fit and feel for the Bear Factory over there. They're going to find out that the product is cheaper because the Be My Bear distributor was mostly taking product domestically from the United States, which means then it ships from China, it comes in here, there's freight, you know, for the container, then to ship it back over, where, you know, it's the only distributor that we have that did it that way. All of the other distributors go ahead and bring product direct from China. That way there's not, you know, hands touching it so many different times. And so this is going to allow it to be a much better run distribution channel than we've ever had before.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are going to have a lot more control over, you know, what the logistics of that look like. And I was going to make this comment in the last episode because as you guys were talking about the tariffs and the market and how just unsettled it's been over the last year, it really has. And your comment last episode, Jimmy, was, you know, you've been here 7 years, going into 8, and it seems like the last 5 years have been 30 years of experience in market economies, because it's been so wide ranging, from COVID to the supply chain shortage to where we're sitting now with tariffs. There's really been no deep breath. And I've told, you know, because I consult a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've told them I've been in business since 2018. I haven't had one full 12-month year of a good market to compare to. It's been ever changing so much in the last 7 years. So what great experience for him, huh?
Well, I'm glad that he's going in that direction and I'm going in the other direction. So
I will say, like, a new operation like this, though, you can't, you know, make the type of spends that we've, you know, we can take some big swings like we've talked about in the past here. Like, we have a seasoned company that you can take some swings, and you can have, you know, a couple of misses here and there and still be okay. Where looking at like this division, like, it's its own entity, and, you know, it definitely is like a different mindset. And I feel like I'm the Jerry now when it comes to that setup, because I'm just counting like every single penny, and I think it's making me a better professional for the Bear Factory domestically.
Finally.
That's what it took.
It's making me a better professional here domestically too, with like, what are we doing here at the Bear Factory as well. And you know, we do like to make spends and make things pretty, but you know, it's just been like a really great reminder of like our roots and what do we really want to focus on, and where can we maximize the dollars that are spent. And so yeah, it's been a great master class of sorts. I was hoping to have a pretty relaxed summer, but that did not happen. And
it's going to be great for the UK when they see what we come in with and how we do business, and
the new product, the increased sizing, and
everything. And they're going to, you know, there's going to be some people running for some cover.
And I think the biggest bomb that we're going to drop is incorporating the stuffing machines. Like we're already in final stages of having a UK compliant machine for the electrical that they have over there. They use a 220 over there. So taking our stuffing machines and doing what we've done for the last 7 years here in North America by getting those machines in people's hands and just giving them the best possible equipment to create the best possible experience. There's not a good stuffing machine resource in the UK right now. And I think that that's going to be one of the biggest things that we're going to be able to introduce and incorporate that. Personally, I enjoy having our competitors quiver in their boots, but I'm very optimistic about what we're going to be able to do with the market over there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And, and as we talk about, year of changes, you guys are going into the 25th year. As our season 2 finale, this is also going to be a change because this is Jerry's last episode as a full-time co-host on the podcast.
Yeah, it'll, Jerry's got some traveling and things that he wants to do, and
other ventures, other companies, other things. You think I would have had enough by now, but for some reason, I still want to be in the game in a lot of different ways.
So on that, what plush do we have today?
Yep. So our final plush feature for season 2. This is Midnight the Wolf. We were hoping to have him in time for Halloween season. He'll be a little bit past that point, but I think he's going to be a super great staple just because I love like the detail of the 2 different colored eyes, and the fabric is, fun and different. It's similar to like the Highland cow fabric that we have that people really seem to love. We're still able to, maintain some of like the recycled polyester fabric here and these components of it, but this is a really fun plushie that we're excited to be introducing, and I wanted to have it for this episode just because he's a wolf, and when we're talking about the UK, we're on the hunt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's definitely a standout plushie. Like it took me off my game a little bit before I did the open because I was looking at it. It's just it's so cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah, the photos don't do it justice online just because you can't like see the detail of
it's
of
incredibly
the plush.
detailed.
Yeah, in person it's fantastic. Online I've struggled with just like lighting for it because it kind of looks like a black blob, but then you have like these 2 eyes. So I'm excited to get these in people's hands because it's the photos don't do it justice, but having it in person, I'm excited for them.
Yeah. Awesome. Jerry, before you depart, it's been great getting to know you over these 2 seasons of the podcast and learning the history, and that's truly been my favorite part of this is anytime we go back into the early days, the first 5 years, the growth, the strategy. I think even if people aren't tied into the Bear Factory, listening to how you built this from nothing to the global juggernaut that it is now is such a masterclass for entrepreneurs. It's definitely valuable for them to listen to it.
Well, it is. It's a lot of hard knocks. And,
Absolutely.
Jimmy's had to go through a lot of that. He's had, support that I didn't have because it was a new industry when I started it.
Yeah.
There was only 2 of us, really 3 of us in it, on a global basis, and so you learn by the fly. We've done a good job. It's been fun. It really is time to let the kids really take it over and run with it and have fun with it.
Yeah, great. Well, it's been great talking to you on these shows, Jerry. And,
pleasure.
We'll get you back on here eventually.
Okay,
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll hold you to it. All right, everyone, that's going to close season 2 of Positive Impact. We'll be back later this fall with kickoff of season 3. Until then, take care.